Once upon a time, in a faraway land called Washington Heights. Say it so it doesn't disappear.
Washington Heights!
Lights up on Washington Heights, up at the break of day. I wake up and I got this little punk I gotta chase away. Pop the grate at the crack of dawn, sing while I wipe down the awning.
Hey, y'all, good morning.
So Alice, I just want to thank you so much for your time. It's a pleasure to be talking to you and to talk about In the Heights. Oh my God, such an amazing movie. I felt right here I got goosebumps and got emotional. And I just want to know how did you come on board and when everything started for you in this amazing movie?
Well, I've known Jon M, the director, for almost 20 years. We went to USC Film School together, and I shot his short musical 19 years ago when the kids are away. And at that time, we bonded over our love of musicals. He showed me an interview he did of me the other day from 20 years ago, or 19 years ago, where I said, he wondered why I wanted to shoot his short film. And I'm just like, I love musicals. I love everything about musicals. I've always wanted to shoot a musical, and no one makes musicals anymore. And so we ended up having this long bond over musicals. And we've done lots of music-driven projects together over the years, including the Legion of Extraordinary Dancers, which we worked with Christopher Scott, the choreographer, on. And so the three of us have a very tight relationship in terms of our work ethic and how we like to work together, and how we communicate with one another.
Yeah, and I watched the movie already like 3 times because it's so colorful, and there you can see the difference of tones, of colors and everything. How was this conversation with Lin-Manuel Miranda to bring the play, and because he brought the play to the script and the script to the big screen? How was this process?
So Jon and Lynn and Kiara worked very closely together to develop the script. And then when I came on board, I had thousands of references that I started going through with Jon, and as we started to explore what the movie would look like. And I've worked really closely before with the production designer and the costume designer as well. We had just finished doing a Apple TV series together, Home Before Dark. And so we had just spent a year together, and then we came onto In the Heights. And when it was all said and done, we all worked together for just shy of 2 years. And we each had our offices with pictures and collaging. And the way Jon and I always work is we collage. We make lookbooks, we share images with each other. And so the collage process is really one of the very first steps in figuring out what the color palette's going to be. And we were very drawn to, we were inspired by Washington Heights. So we got to Washington Heights in the winter of 2019, in March 2019, early spring, I guess. And it was freezing cold. There's pictures of us all in heavy coats in the middle of Highbridge Pool, standing right in the center of the swimming pool where a few months later, Melissa would float in the Busby Berkeley shot. And we go and look at all these locations in Washington Heights. And I started photographing Washington Heights with my iPhone, and then going home and playing with the colors. And it slowly evolved, but really being inspired by the community is how we created the look of In the Heights.
Yeah, it's beautiful. And I think it came out really, really amazing. Yes, it is. It's and I think it's like the music of the year. It's super cute, and I love everything about it. And did you use any specific camera, any specific lens to get to that?
So we use the Panavision DXL2 camera system from Panavision, and then we used anamorphic G series lenses, which were also made by Panavision. And Panavision worked very closely with us to modify the lenses from their stock lens to create the look that we wanted, to soften the lenses. And the reason we chose the lenses is because they gave us this very intimate feel. So the musical numbers, we wanted to be grand and large, but these are about real people with real dreams. And so all of the dialogue scenes and the non-musical scenes, we wanted to be very, very intimate. And that gave us a very shallow depth of field. So we were close to our actors, and the world around them was out of focus.
Ice cold piragua, cherry, strawberry, and just for today, I got my mate.
It's a story of a block that was disappearing.
The genius is back!
Yo, here's your chance. Ask her out right now. Hey.
There's something on your shirt.
Smooth operator, all damn.
We all had a sueñito. And when it came to dreams, we had to keep scraping by.
Maybe this neighborhood's changing forever. Maybe tonight is our last night together, however.
I just want to see the whole world through her eyes.
They're talking about kicking out all the dreamers. It's time to make some noise.
We had to assert our dignity in small ways. Little details that tell the world we are not invisible.
This is the moment when you do better than me. Because you can see a future that I can't.
But we rap for people and then we go.
You made all of this?
This is me.
They used to say, if you work hard, you live by the rules, the money will come, the things will come.
You ready?
I've been saving up all my pennies in my piggy bank for this.
Yeah, no, it's amazing. And you mentioned about the Washington Heights, the community, and how much do you think is important for the big cities to have these communities, and how we can do to keep them alive?
So I grew up in New York City. I lived there till I was 10, and I lived in a neighborhood in Manhattan on 29th Street and 2nd Avenue that hadn't been gentrified yet in the 80s. And I loved the feeling of sitting on the stoop and playing in the hydrants and knowing the members of my community, knowing every single person in my walk-up apartment building. And that feeling is so ingrained in me. Like, that is my memory of New York. And so when we got to make Washington Heights, and I was taken to Washington Heights for the first time in many years, that sense of small town in the middle of one of the biggest cities in the world still exists in Washington Heights. I remember the first night, my team went out and did a night scout because we wanted to see what the lighting was like at night. And we got there before sundown, and just as the sun set behind the George Washington Bridge, people started to come out, and it was one of the hottest. It was the first really warm day right after spring. So everyone's in tank tops and shorts and pouring into the street after work. In one corner had a group of domino players sitting around a card table. There were women on the stoop telling stories. Another corner had someone playing their boombox, and another corner had kids playing in the hydrants. I mean, it really felt like small town America right there in the heart of New York. And so those communities are important, relationships are important. And I think this year has proved to us how important community is. And In the Heights is a celebration of community. It's a joy of being together and getting through hard, challenging times with the members in your community who build you up. I mean, Daniela's song Carnival is all about how she gives her community power, how she infuses power in the members of her community.
And also, like in the Heights, like the movie, it's not just, it talks about dreams, right? And
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's just, I think that's more than that. And also how much the dreams when we get older, they are changing, right? And how much do you think your dreams change when you start working in this industry and versus what you're dreaming right now for your profession?
This is my sueñito. Being a cinematographer is my dream. I knew I wanted to be a cinematographer when I was 15 years old. I grew up a child actor, and so I grew up around camera and lighting and fell in love with it at a very young age. And there's no other job I've ever wanted to do. And of course that evolves. I now have a child who I love. She's 5, and I now want to make movies that inspire her. And In the Heights is one of those movies. And so I think my dream has evolved into the types of stories I want to tell.
That's awesome. Did you learn any Spanish doing In the Heights?
I did. I learned a little bit of Spanish in the neighborhood. I grew up in LA, so I have I've got lots of Spanish-speaking friends, so I've got a very good ear for Spanish, but I can't speak it at all. And I downloaded an app when I first got to New York. I'm just like, I want to be completely fluent in Spanish by the time In the Heights is done, and that goal did not happen.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you, I speak Spanish and Portuguese, and those are not easy languages to learn. I know, but don't worry.
We're trying to teach my daughter. We put my daughter in an immersion school for French because that was what was around our neighborhood, and now she's taking Spanish in kindergarten, and apparently she's doing amazing at Spanish, and I think it's because she learned French, and or she had French teachers when she was little, because they're very similar. Yeah,
it's all come to the Latin, so it's right there. And aside from In the Heights, are you also part of like the season 2 of Home After Dark this time around, or no?
No, I didn't do Home Before Dark. What I did, I couldn't go back to Home Before Dark. I love that show. I love the showrunners, but I was doing Tick Tick Boom with Lin when they started filming Home Before Dark.
And what else you have coming up for you after In the Heights?
After In the Heights releases this summer, Tick Tick Boom is released this fall at some point. So, which is also a musical. So it comes out later this year.
Yeah, that's awesome. Alice, I just want to thank you so much for your time. It's a pleasure to talk to you, and a lot of success. And I cannot wait for everybody to watch In the Heights. Thank you.
Thank you for such a wonderful interview. I appreciate you including me.
Thank you so much.
Now stop, this is our block. In the Heights, I hang my flag on display.
Cheers.
It reminds me that I came from miles away.
This is crazy.
From miles to the heights.
Best days of my life. And I built my little dream, my sueñito.
In the Heights, the late nights, you taste beans and
Here.
rice. The sun with shaved ice.
In Washington Heights.
Turn off the street lights. We're taking the flight to a couple of days in the life for what it's like in Washington Heights.
If you like this video, don't forget to comment, to like, and subscribe to our channel right here.